I read a total of 10 books in the month of July, and today we are going to talk a bit about them. Hey guys, hi. Today I'm going to talk about the books I read in the month of July and share my thoughts and what I felt reading about them. And most probably you are all thinking like I look like shit, and yes, I look like it because apparently my voice too feels like death walked over me. But it was not that serious. But yes, I was ill for the past few days, which led me to posting my July wrap up reel so late. And with my college reopening, it has been a bit messier. So, yes, though I did not promise, but I told you all that I would be a bit trying to be a bit consistent about my posting. So here I am today, sharing my random and I don't know weird thoughts about some books I read this month. So the first book which I'm starting with is The Spare Who Became the Hire by Alice Hanoff. This book was a gifted copy to me, so I thought why not pick up a physical book after so long. And this book is like the perfect book which just makes an entrance or paves the way for you to enter into an entirely new series. So this is a fantasy romance series, if I'm not very wrong, but this book is not actually, you don't see the romance happening here. This is more like a novella before the actual series starts. So this book is talks about this lost hire who is supposed to follow the who is supposed to carry on with the rule after her father dies. So we see her perspective, how she is living when she is lost from her own world. So yes, and then there is this guy who knows her but does not recognizes her because she is just disguised as a boy and roaming around. So yes, this book was a 3.5-star read for me because honestly I would have rated this one a 4-star. But there was like, obviously this is a novella, this is a book prior to the entire series, so this obviously has some gaps, and I like gaps in second chance romance, but then again gaps seem a bit unnecessary to me. But I know why this book followed the gaps, because following the gaps was a bit essential for it, because otherwise this would have been turned into a huge ass book. So yes, apparently if I think about this book, it sets the perfect stage for you to enter into the fantasy world of the book. And but this one, I won't say this one did not work out for me. It actually did pretty well because I read a fantasy romance. My last fantasy romance was The Serpent and the Dove, and it was so long ago. But yes, this book I expected a bit more. Like the gaps felt like really long periods you are disconnected from the story. Not totally, but a bit of it. If you know, you know. So yes, that was all for this book. The next book which I read this month was A Not So Sweet Romantic Getaway by Evie Sterling, and this was my first book by her. And honestly, this book made me realize I actually like clean romances. Like, this book is the one with zero smut, zero spice. Still, I enjoyed this one. This book follows Jack and Hazel. They are like rivals in their own corporate firms, but they don't know each other. They have never seen each other. They have just contacted via emails. So when they are forced to a dreamy getaway for the first few, I would say 20% of the book, they don't know who they are actually to each other. And the most amazing thing is they don't even know their names when they go to a first date. Okay, you all will think it's a weird, because why will you go with a guy, or why would you go out with a girl whose name you don't even know? But it was more like they fell into a difficult situation which forced them to like pose for pictures for a first date. As you get into the book, you will know. So then again, I actually rated this one a 4.5 star because after such a long time, I get to read a book which makes me feel real good without the spice and the smart. So apart from that, this book is pretty clean. Like you see scenes, but that to a limitations. I actually like this book. Like this was a perfect light-hearted romance prior to the ones which are going to follow very soon. So the next book which I read this month was Mad Love by Willow Astor. This book is a single dad sports romance. So this book follows Weston and Sadie. They are like, okay, they are not, you won't say willingly, or neither they plan to fall in love, but yes, it happens over time. This book, before entering, please be aware that this book is emotionally loaded because this book follows the death of Sadie's sister, and that's how Weston comes to know about his son Caleb, Caleb, and that's where the story starts. It's they bond over the trauma of losing her sister. While they get to know each other, though the circumstances were never in support of them, they decide to overcome it with the support of their friends and families. This book was real good in terms of the emotions playing, the character development you see of Sadie, and then again her journals, her sister's journals. Each one of them helped so much in the book, especially the journals. The journals played such an important role. And okay, this was the heavy topic. Now to the light-hearted topics. It's about obviously what you expect from a single parent. It's about Caleb. Caleb is the sunshine in the whole story. You will find places amid these heavy situations or heavy topic. Seeing Caleb, reading about Caleb, you are just imagining a little boy crawling out, crawling around. I don't know what's happening. Crawling around, filling the book with sunshine and happiness. So yes, that was all. This book was a 4.5 star rate for me, and I really enjoyed this one. The next book I'm going to talk about is a real interesting one because after such a hugest time, some book has caught me by surprise. It's Ship Out of Love by Brittany Kelly, and this book follows June and Dean. Okay, the most interesting part of this book is it's a rom-com with suspense thrown into it. Okay, now I have never read a rom-com and suspense which goes so well together because I have read a very few of them. It's like one or two books, and suspense felt like it was forced into that book. But this one felt so much natural. With the lies going on, with the truths going on, you will start questioning which is a lie and which is a truth. It's like you are just playing a game of guess the truth. So this book was real interesting, and honestly, the surprises were actually working well for me. I have never, like, I won't say never, very few books surprise me because probably because I read a lot, I just guess what's gonna happen next. But this book kept me guessing till the end. And the way the plot slowly and gradually uncovered and was pulled into light, it was actually real good. Like, oh my god. I was like, the twists were, oh my god, what am I reading? What am I reading? Girl, shake some sense into myself. I was like that throughout the book. I actually really love this book. Obviously, you need to read it to really know what I'm talking about because this book has emotions intertwined. I was forgetting to mention emotions, but yes, because June is suffering. I won't say suffering, she is more like remembering her father after his death. So yes, you know what, death brings emotion, and I feel like in any story, death of your loved one or death of your someone close, very close, plays a real important role. Like, it can make or break a story the way it's written. This one was again so good. The next book is a reverse harem book. It's The Pucking Coach's Daughter by S. Masri, and this book is a reverse harem. It's a sports romance. You have three guys, one girl, all penning for her. Okay, so This book was a bit of a different reverse harm for me because it has rival guys put together, and you know how hockey players are when they are rivals. So obviously this is again a college romance. It follows Sydney and three hot guys with her. And then this book, the most interesting part is it has a lot of trigger warnings. I'm saying it interesting because for me, the more the trigger warnings, the more interesting the book is. I know it's a bit sick and twisted, but yes, that's the fact for me. And then you see bully happening, you see lots of difficulties being faced by Sydney. Then you know one guy does the wrong, the other suffers, and then she suffers, and then the sufferings go on. But then again, this is the most spiciest book this month I have read. So yes, I know I'm like a bit casual about it, but yes, that's the way I am. So yes, this book is was a spicy book, was a real spicy book. It's I feel like I rated this book a 4 star on the level of spice, so you know how spicy it is. I feel like, oh, and yes, the dangerous things happening in the book, I feel like that added to the element of interest. I know. Sometimes I really doubt my preference for books. So, anyways, this was a 4 star read for me. I love reverse harems if it's really well written, but sometimes some books are like just you just force a guy into a relationship he does not want to be in. But this book, all these of the three guys equally wanted to be with Sydney. And then again, her father being the coach of one of the hockey teams, and then her father doubting, oh my god, is he her boyfriend? Is he her boy? Is he her boyfriend? That thing, and then suddenly, like the ending, oh my god, the ending was real good. The ending was really good when you know things happen. The next book which I read was Salt by L.A. Farrow, and this was a 4 star read for me. This book follows Cameron and Everett. Okay. This is a forbidden romance. This is a dad's best friend romance. But you know, you expect suddenly their attraction sparking, but this book was real slow. It's like you wait and you wait and you wait. When will they get together? That's the question. But I feel that wait just added, just kept me hooked to the book. And honestly, the spice was once they get together, it's like you bring two balls of fire together and the whole house burns up in flames. So yes, that's what this book felt like. I loved the first part of this, and this is a part of a series, but not it's like interconnected standalones. So yes, this book is interesting because you know you keep on guessing at parts. What happens next? Does they finally kiss? Does they finally get together? Does this happen? Does that happens? So that thing keeps on guessing, and I love books which keeps me guessing till the end. Like though I already get a hint of what's going to happen, I still like doubting my own thinking process. Like, do I think this is right? Do I think that is wrong? So whatever it is, it's like I'm a bit crazy. I don't know why the month of July has made me, my booking preferences, the reading preferences have made me a bit crazy. The next book which I read was the it's like it was an interesting book because it's Redemption by Jenna Hartley, and this second chance romance. It follows Sloan and Jackson. It's a bodyguard romance. So you know, second chance means first time they had something real special and then it had to be broken off. And it's again, I guess, sister's best friend. Yes, if I'm not very wrong, it's sister's best friend. So you have that thing. What if she knows? What if she knows? You have that thing going on. But the most interesting part of this book was the acknowledgements. I don't know why, but Jenna admitting that she never ever thought of writing a second chance romance just proved the saying that never say never. So, but actually, like, you know, you have like, as I mentioned, Jenna never thought of writing such a book, and I feel like when you don't want to write a specific trope, when you try writing it, it just ends up getting messed up. But this book was real good. Like, the way Sloan and Jackson finally resolve through their difficulties, resolve through their problems, and then though coming from different family backgrounds, they spark up electricity. And I guess the next book, like, I'm really hoping it's either Sloan's eldest brother rather, and or Jackson's sister, because you see her sister going through some marital problems, so you expect a book of her own. So yes, that's all, and this was a 4-star read for me. The next book is Saving the Beast by Prue Schuler. I don't know how to pronounce her surname, but yes, please forgive me if you're watching this. I'm sorry, but yes, this book was again real good. It's a sport romance. It's a Beauty and Beast retelling with sports into the mix. So, as you can already guess from the title, it was a 4.5-star read for me. This book follows Griffin, who is this real famous hockey player. I guess he plays hockey, if I'm not very wrong. So, the FMC is given the responsibility to tutor Griffin, and that's when they realize that they have something special here. Though it's not the first day or the first tutoring session, they are like, they feel or realize something. It happens just over time. Like, the sparks don't fly the first time they meet. It's just a bit of an undercurrent, but once it goes on developing and developing and developing, then it's like, I'm just waiting for Griffin's friends' story, because I don't remember his friend's name, but I remember the fact that I liked his friend a bit more. So yes, I'm a bit excited about his book, because I'm thinking that's going to be a tad bit more interesting. But anyways, this book is real good one if you want Beauty and Beast retelling, but with some modern hints to it. This book is for you. Pick this one up, give this one a try, because I feel if you are a sports fan, if you are a retelling fan, you are gonna love this one. We have another book which I read this month. It was The Fierce Family by Danny Elias. This was more like a novella, so you know, novella gives me breaks while reading. This was again a nice book, real good book. It was a 4.4-star read for me, not 4.5. It's a 4-star read for me. Danny Elias's books are real short, so you can just complete them within a few hours. But yes, this book was really good, because you know, though it's a novella, it takes its like, in case of a novella, it takes its own slow time to like bond the characters. This is a single parent, so obviously the single mom has, though she has a really old daughter, like her daughter has already chosen her own life partner. So you know, it's that, but like, her daughter is a grown up, but you still have that single mom consciousness going through you. And when the MNC comes and breaks through that consciousness, it's when things happen. You know what I'm talking about. But yes, with that we come to the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Most probably I will be posting my next video on some specific genre or tropes which I love the most. I would really like to hear from you all which genre of books you want recommendations on, so that I can like collect a bit information about them, and then show some real good recommendations to you all. But yes, with that I think we have come to the end of the video, and I don't have anything more to say, but I would just like to say that please bear with me, because with my real life happening, it's a bit messier. Once I get situated, I think it will be a bit okay, but I can never assure. So yes, with that, it's a wrap for today. Bye bye, see you in the next video.